Hello, puppies and kittens. Welcome to another episode of Reading Joseph Smith. Sadly, we are without Shannon today. I'm not sure what she was doing. There was some kind of urgent message about fighting zombies somewhere or something like that, and Bryce, unfortunately, we don't have either. He's apparently in mid-transit trying to get under enemy lines and through the Iron Curtain. I don't know what the issue with both of them is, but they did both send me a message, and I couldn't remember all the details. But neither one of them were going to be able to make it today, with all their apologies. And so this was very nearly going to be the Aaron and Gazalem show, and well, that would have been fun for us. I did think it would be nice to have some expertise beyond what he and I can muster for the Book of Mormon. Gazalem, I know you've read it. I know you're on your stuff. You're on the ball and all that. But I like to have two people who are learned to contrast against each other.
It is good, even though you have the
work
prophet.
When I do it.
I thought it was going to be a good cop, bad cop sort of a thing.
It's like that. It's like that. My favorite discussions are when you have two experts and they have mild disagreements.
Yeah.
Because then you know where the debate really lies.
Yeah.
But anyway, David Fitzgerald, you were not a former Mormon like just about everybody else on this show. But you did write a scathing exposure of Mormonism. What was the name of that book?
I believe it's called The Mormons. Yep. Part of the Complete Heretics Guide to Western Religion series.
I like the secondary title. That's a lot more interesting. So anyway, I'm glad, Fitz, that you were able to make it, and that because we can't usually get you on, but. With your regular gig engaged in international espionage.
Exactly. We can't talk about it though. Shh. Very hush hush.
Hey, real quick, another really amazing thing I stumbled on was David with Bryce Blankenagel on Myth Vision doing a real deep dive on Mormonism. It's like 12 episodes or something. Is that?
It's funny. We thought, we'll do a series on the backstory of Mormonism. We'll do like 4 episodes, 5 episodes. I think we wound up at 29 before we finally stopped.
Crap.
And we never even
3 hours.
We never even made it to Utah. That was all pre-early history of Mormonism. Yeah. Bryce is amazing. He's an encyclopedia.
So who is going to read today?
We need Ember's God voice.
Yeah.
Salem, you want to do the honors, or shall I?
Go for it, David.
All right. We can take turns too. All right. So
I usually read the second. I usually read the second chapter.
Ember's being lazy. Ember's in chat, but not here. No clue why.
Oh no.
Do you want me to do some quick commentary to kind of catch us up?
Yeah, sure. Catch us up. Previously,
okay. Previously, we had a moron, the bold Lamanite, but it was him and his epistle back and forth. The epistle of Captain Moroni. They were just talking about all the war chapters and stuff. So we've just pretty much finished up the war chapters, and the next chapter that we're coming up on it's considered the mother's guilt chapter, and we'll find out why with what's going to be coming up.
I just got an amusing comment from Tarb Ox, who offers $5 Canadian and says, "I don't think anyone has made this comment yet. Soon may the Willerman come to bring us sugar and tea and come."
Luckily, I have an iced latte today. I skipped out on the tea and come.
Okay, so do we have, what was it, Alma 56 open?
Alma 56, we've got it. And I am, for a war chapter, this is probably one of the most boring chapters in the whole book, I have to say. But let's do it anyway.
It's a sleeper.
It's a sleeper. All right, and now it came to pass in the commencement of the 30th year of the reign of the judges, on the 2nd day in the 1st month, Moroni received an epistle from Helaman stating the affairs of the people in that quarter of the land. And these are the words which he wrote, saying, My dearly beloved Moroni, as well in the Lord as in the tribulations of our warfare, behold, my beloved brother, I have something to tell you concerning our warfare in this part of the land. Behold, 2,000 of the sons. I swear we should make a drinking game every time they say that. Exceedingly, behold, it came to pass. That's a drink right there. All right. Lo, behold, 2,000 of the sons of those men who Ammon brought out of the land of Nephi. That's the stripling warriors, we all know. Now ye have known that these were the descendants of Laman, who was the eldest son of our father Lehi.
By the way, I had to point out, because I wasn't sure what the stripling warriors were. So I think we decided that they were the ones who fought without shirts, but they still had collars with short ties, and they had cufflinks.
The Chippendale striplers.
The Chippendale
warriors.
Stripling warriors, yes.
That is a good point. That is a good point to make out, though, because the stripling warriors are the sons of the anti-Nephi Lehis. And if we remember right, the anti-Nephi Lehis are the people that buried all their weapons. They're like these Janus types that won't fight. And so we have a generation of kids that are the generation of people that never, ever fought before.
But their kids had not signed on for that. So that's how they got that legal loophole in. It's like, anyway, clever stuff here. Let's see. Now I mean not rehearse unto you concerning their traditions or their unbelief, for thou knowest concerning all these things. But we'll keep talking anyway. Therefore it sufficeth me to tell you that 2,000 of these young men have taken their weapons of war, and would that I would be their leader, and we have come forth to defend our country. And now ye also know concerning the covenant which their fathers made, that they would not take up their weapons of war against their brethren.
Oops.
He went omo arigato.
Yes. Well,
still there?
Yep, we're still here, but Fitz is frozen.
Oh, our afflictions and tribulations.
Fitz was fritzing.
Okay, here we go.
Fitz is fritzing. Fitz on the Fritz.
But in the 20th and 6th year, when they saw our afflictions and our tribulations for them, they were about to break the covenant which they had made and taken up their weapons of war in our defense. But I would not suffer them that they should break this covenant which they had made, supposing that God would strengthen us, insomuch as we should not suffer more because of the fulfilling of the oath which they had taken. But behold, here is one thing in which we may have great joy. For behold, in the 20th and 6th year, I, Helaman, the guy writing this letter that's been talking to you this whole time, did march at the head of these Helaman, did march at the head of these 2,000 young men to the city of Judea to assist Antipas, whom ye had appointed a leader over the people of that part of the land. Pause for Antipas puns now.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused here. I thought, weren't we in the New World now?
Yeah, funny if there's a Judea there too. So,
okay.
What are you gonna do?
So they're in Judea, Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly. Something very like that.
You called it.
Very like that. And I did join my 2,000 sons, for they are worthy to be called sons, to the army of Antipas. In which strength Antipas did rejoice exceedingly. For behold, his army had been reduced by the Lamanites, because their forces had slain a vast number of our men, for which cause we have much to mourn. Nevertheless,
so this guy has 2,000 sons.
Yes.
He either has 500 wives, or he donates a lot of sperm.
All these things.
That's not counting the daughters. And there's actually 2,060, which we'll find out. They didn't count the 60 for some reason.
Exceedingly. All right.
And I like the phrase, would that I should, or would that we should, because you get this little rhyming thing that only occurs in the Book of Mormon. I've never seen this phrase anywhere else.
He probably stole it from somebody. I'm sure it's literary.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nevertheless, we may console ourselves in this point, that they have died in the cause of their country and out of their God. Yea, and they are happy. And the Lamanites...
But they died, and they are happy.
Yeah, happy dead people. They died doing what they loved. Yeah.
Under the banner of liberty.
Party. Who could ask for more?
Incidentally, just today on Facebook, I posted a thing about this 3,000-year-old German burial ground of a battlefield in Germany, and there are tons of bones, tons of weapons, tons of shields, and it's like, God, I wonder where all these battlefields are. I can't wait to see all the steel swords and the shields. And anyway, let's see, where are these guys? And the Lamanites had also retained many prisoners, all of whom are chief captains, for none other have they spared alive. And we suppose that they are now at this time in the land of Nephi. It is so if they are not slain. And now these are the cities of which the Lamanites have obtained possession by the shedding of blood of so many of our valiant men. The land of Monti, or the city of Monti, or Monty, I don't know. And the city of Zizrom, the Dr. Seussian sounding city of Zizrom.
Zizrom.
And the city of Kumenai, and the city of Antipara. And these are the cities which they possessed when I arrived at the city of Judea. And I found Antipas and his men toiling with their might to fortify the city. Yea, and they were depressed in body as well as in spirit, for they had fought valiantly by day and toiled by night to maintain their cities, and thus they had suffered great afflictions of every kind. And now they were determined to conquer in this place or die. Therefore you may well suppose that this little force which I brought with me, yea, those sons of mine, gave them great hopes and much joy. And now it came to pass, that when the Lamanites saw that Antipas had received a greater strength to his army, they were compelled by the orders of Ammoron not to come against the city of Judea or against us to battle. And thus we were favored by the Lord, for had they come upon us at this our weakness, they might have perhaps destroyed our little army, but thus we were preserved. They were commanded by Ammoron to maintain those cities which they had taken, and thus ended the 26th year. And in the commencement of the 27th year, we had prepared our city and ourselves for defense.
Can we say something about Antipas? Like, is this like the gay army or something?
I wish that somebody would say something about Antipas. Because this sounds like a James Bond villain.
Anti-pussy.
Here we go. And this is so incredibly boring. I have to say, you could have done so much more as a fiction writer. I'm just saying there were so many more opportunities here. Anyway, now we were desirous that the Lamanites should come upon us, for we were not desirous to make an attack upon them in their strongholds. And it came to pass.
Come upon you.
That
doesn't happen until the very.
We're not desirous.
That doesn't happen until the very end of the video.
The city of Monty, the money shot. And it came to pass that we kept spies out round about. We kept spies out round about. What does that mean? We kept spies out round about to watch the movements of the Lamanites, that they might not pass us by night nor by day to make an attack upon our other cities, which were on the northward. Not be confused with them being in the north. For we knew in those cities they were not sufficiently strong to meet them. Therefore, we were desirous, if they should pass by us, to fall upon them in their rear. Pause for that. And thus bring them up in the rear.
Because we are middle school children.
Exactly. And thus bring them up in the rear at the same time they were met in the front. We suppose that we would
Wait, I've seen that video too.
But behold, we were disappointed in this our desire. Oh. They durst not pass us with their whole army, neither durst they with a part, lest they should not be sufficiently strong, and they should fall. Neither durst they march down against the city of Zarahemla, neither durst they cross the head of Sidon over to the city of Nephi. And thus, with their forces, they were determined to maintain those cities which they had taken. And now it came to pass, in the 2nd month of this year, there was brought unto us many provisions from the fathers of these my 2,000 sons, And also there were sent 2,000 unto us from the land of Zarahemla. And thus we were prepared with 10,000 men and provisions for them, and also for their wives and their children. And the Lamanites,
that means that 5 other guys also had 2,000 sons.
And the Lamanites, thus seeing our forces increase daily, and provisions arrive for our support, they began to be fearful, and began to sally forth, if it were possible to put an end to our receiving provisions and strength. Now when we saw that the Lamanites began to grow uneasy on this wise, we were desirous to bring a stratagem into effect upon them. Therefore,
A stratagem.
A stratagem, a cunning plan, my liege.
This wording is so weird.
It's so bizarre. Therefore, Antipas ordered that I should march forth with my little sons to a neighboring city, as if we were carrying provisions to a neighboring city.
Wait, little sons?
My little sons, those little rascals.
This is like the army of our gang?
Yeah, because these are really soft. They're soft mama's boys, is what's going on here.
And we were to march near the city of Antipara, as if we were going to the city beyond, in the borders by the seashore. And it came to pass that we did march forth, as if with our provisions, to go to that city. And it came to pass that Antipas did march forth with a part of his army, leaving the remainder to maintain the city. But he did not march forth until I had gone forth with my little army, and came to Antipara.
Little army.
Okay, hold on a second. And it came to pass that we did march forth, and then the next verse, and it came to pass we did march forth with a part.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did we march forth and Antipas? It came to pass that we marched, and it came to pass that Antipas marched.
Yes.
And it came to pass that we met in the middle.
Yes. We still have some more it came to passes to come.
Okay.
And the little armies all we represent the Lollipop Guild.
You're in trouble now, Lamanites.
Yeah, here are the Lost Boys. Oh no.
And now in the city Antipara were stationed the strongest army of the Lamanites, yea, the most numerous. Bum, bum, bum. And it came to pass that when they had been informed by their spies, they came forth with their army and marched against us. And it came to pass that we did flee before them. We did flee before them northward, and thus did we lead away the most powerful army of the Lamanites, yea, even to a considerable distance. Insomuch that when they saw the army of Antipas pursuing them with their might, they did not turn to the right or to the left, but pursued their march in a straight course after us. And, as we suppose, it was their intent to slay us before Antipas could overtake them, and this that they may not be surrounded by our people. Oh, he needed his editor so bad. Oh my goodness. And now Antipas, beholding our danger, did speed the march of his army. But behold,
double time, soldier.
But behold, it was night. Therefore, they did not overtake us. Neither did Antipas overtake them. Therefore, we did camp for the night. So,
wait,
not so bad
what?
after all. I guess it's cash. We'll wait. This wait till to the AM.
Okay, so they're coming after you at twice speed.
Yes,
but it's dark. So just stop and lay down.
Go to bed.
They
didn't pitch their tents, at least.
Let's call it a day and see what happens. And it came to pass that before the dawn of the morning, behold, the Lamanites were pursuing us. Now we were not sufficiently strong to contend with them. Yea, I would not suffer that my little sons should fall into their hands. Therefore, we did continue our march, and we took our march into the wilderness. Now, guess what?
Because they weren't in the wilderness before?
What?
They weren't in the wilderness before?
I guess not.
Where were they?
I guess the suburbs. The suburbs of Zarahemla, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Now let's be very precise here. That now they durst not turn to the right nor to the left, lest they be surrounded. Neither would I turn to the right nor to the left, lest they should overtake me. And we could not stand against them, but be slain. And then they would make their escape, and thus we did flee all that day into the wilderness, even until it was dark. And it came to pass that again, when the light of the morning came, we saw the Lamanites upon us, and we did flee before them. Run away! But it came to pass that they did not pursue us far before they halted. And it was in the morning of the 3rd day of the 7th month. And now, whether they were overtaken by Antipas, we knew not. But I said unto my men, behold, we know not, but they have halted for the purpose that we should come against them, that they might catch us in their snare. Therefore, what say ye, my sons? Will ye go against them to battle?
Ooh.
And now I say unto you, my beloved brother Moroni, the guy I'm writing this letter to, I, Helaman, that I'd never seen such great courage, nay, not among all the Nephites. For as I had ever called them my sons, for they were all of them very young, even so they said unto me, Father, behold, our God is with us, and he will not suffer that we fall. Then let us go forth, and we would not slay our brethren if they would let us alone. Therefore let us go, lest they overpower the army of Antipas. Okay. Now, they had never fought, yet they did not fear death. And they did think more upon the liberty of their fathers than they did upon their lives. Yea, they had been taught by their mothers that if they did not doubt, God would deliver them. And they rehearsed unto me the words of their mothers, saying, We do not doubt, our mothers knew it. And it came to pass that I did return with my 2,000 against those Lamanites who had pursued us. And now, behold, the armies of Antipas had overtaken them, and a terrible battle had commenced. Dun, 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 bum, 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 bum. The army of Antipas, being weary because of their long march in so short a space of time, were about to fall into the hand of the Lamanites. Oh no! And had I not returned with my 2,000, they would have obtained their purpose. For Antipas had fallen by the sword. I feel like we should have sound effects during all this. And many of his leaders, because of their weariness, which was occasioned by the speed of their march, as you recall, therefore the men of Antipas, being confused because of the fall of their leaders, began to give way before the Lamanites. And it came to pass.
Jimmy, we had Antipas is trailing and following after the stripling warriors.
Stripling warriors.
I'd like to point out something that I am noticing right away. Last week, we suggested that 45 minutes would be enough time to go through this chapter. Almost. We were told by certain individuals that they would need so much time to cover those verses that they need to put it off until next week. And I notice an absence of certain people.
It's true.
The people for whom we delayed said chapter, and for whom I have nothing deep to say about these verses. So the whole, I don't know, it just seems to me.
But we got to read the chapter of Pukei Eye, though, so that was cool.
That's true.
So we had
Bryce. I don't know. Shannon obviously has health stuff, so maybe that's why. But where the fuck is Bryce?
These are all good
Bryce
questions.
let me know that he was traveling today, something unexpected, and that he wasn't going to he wouldn't make it back on time. And I had forgotten that that there was this discussion about needing all this time to go over all of this. So I mean, I was about to cancel the show because I wasn't going to have Bryce or Shannon or Tomer. And I'm like, I wasn't really feeling up to doing the Aaron and Gazalem show.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I think Shannon canceled because her internet went down, but I think these are important to her because they're the mommy guilt chapters. This is when if moms don't raise their boys properly, then they're going to be shit missionaries kind of thing. And then moms are like, crap, I didn't. Yeah, exactly.
What are we on so far?
Yeah, we're still at 50.
You can't ask me.
And then Tomer comments. He says, "Just hopping in to say hello, and hopefully you all enjoy the stream."
Tomer.
Yay, Tomer.
Bruno Zeigertz says, offers $5 Canadian, and says, "If the Lamanites were Native Americans, why didn't they have metal swords and horses when the Europeans came?"
Why indeed?
They're all good questions.
Okay, so what verse are we on now?
We are on 52.
Already,
the Lamanites are about to take courage.
25 minutes. I want to suggest something, even after we're almost completed with the chapter.
Yeah.
As I believe this chapter is important to both Bryce and Shannon, should we perhaps maybe make today's episode the reading the articles of faith or some other thing, and return to this chapter with the aforementioned absent people? I'm surprised you got. I guarantee you, whatever they had in mind, you wouldn't be on verse 50 something in only 25 minutes.
I have to admit, I was speed reading on this one because
What else are you gonna do when someone forces you to read the Book of Mormon?
Exactly.
It's all about the moms getting up in testimony meeting and bawling their eyes out how they're not good enough moms because their son fucked up on his mission or some shit.
And it just seems to follow for this week, because yesterday we did Blasphemers Bible. We did Numbers 31, or 30 and 31. And it was the one time that we didn't have Lilith, who is like the only female participant. And I know that she was earnest in wanting to attack both of those chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
if we
they're
save
both.
this for our beloved Formans, maybe we should then, because
I feel that.
I respect that.
Yeah,
Let
but
me go ahead and
the next chapter that I would say, what if we switch to doing some good old Pearl of Great Price or Articles of Faith? Articles of Faith are kind of fun. There's only 13. We could do those. We could do because I feel like if we try to guess which chapter we could go to that they would be fine with, Bryce will be like, "No, that's the most important one of all.
exactly.
Better one." Yeah.
All right. Well, I will leave it to you, Jimmy, David, Gazalem. What should we read today?
Pearl of Great Price.
Well, the Articles of Faith are funny because originally there were like 15 of them, and then they got rid of, or they, it's like the 10 Commandments and shit. It's all messed up.
Do you have?
It's interesting. 15? I just don't have any of that stuff. Yeah. They're in my vault.
Oh, I'm fresh out of them. Damn it.
Oh, I've got them. I can read them. They're on the same website.
Jimmy, read the Articles of Faith for us.
All right. Well, Jimmy pulls that up. And
you want to do Pearl of Great Price?
Pearl of Great Price. I'm with David here. I'm just saying.
I do have a old mic.
I'm willing to default to whatever the snow wants.
But, well, it doesn't have to be me. But, Dave, don't you have quite a bit to say about the Pearl of Great Price?
In theory, I suppose I do. It's been a while since I've been on I've been on a Old Testament kick and a Islam kick lately. So I'm it's been a while.
You just mix them together.
I tell you, we're juggling balls all the time here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the Book of Mormon stage play?
Oh, yes.
Which verse? What? I'm trying to remember. Which verse was Muhammad wept? All right, I got my silly desert myths mixed up.
Okay, I've got a comment from Ember Travels, offers $2. AICTP. I don't know what that means.
AICCP. What?
RESPECT.
Is that the insane clown posse?
Maybe, I don't know. It says, "I did say unto Jimmy, 79 degrees in Richmond."
Oh.
Yeah, well, fucketh thee, because we're in the 40s today.
And I'm in heaven, except for the humidity. I'm in heaven. This is.
I had to put the doors and the roof back on my Jeep a couple days ago. Can't take the snakes anywhere. It's frustrating.
It's hardest on the snakes.
I'm sorry for all of that, though. You have been told winter happens here. It happens every year around the same time. I love a cold front, and I'm enjoying this one very much. I would vote probably Articles of Faith, because actually, as I think about it, I feel like Bryce would come back next week and go, "So you thought I wanted to read Alma 56 more than Moses 1?" I can hear it in my voice, in my head. I mean.
Okay.
That's
so Articles of Faith then.
So
let me read a couple. While you guys gather that together, let me read a couple more of these. JC offers $2 and says, "Family proclamation. Oaks is about to canonize."
We could do that.
Explain that to me.
We've got enough time.
Oh, that shit's evil shit.
Yeah. It's a prophecy by Gordon B. Hinckley.
Fun.
About the proclamation on the family. We could do that after. We've got enough. There's only 13 Articles of Faith, so with time, we can do that too.
All right, let's make a note for that. And then Test Signal offers £5 and says,
Bryce might also be mad.
We'll come back to the Pearl of Great Price anyway, though, so we're okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
It says, "Hi, Aaron, love your work. What are you drinking today? Also, great show today, Jimmy." So So my wife bought something weird, and I'm just trying to get rid of it. It's grapefruit beer from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty wild.
I recognize all those words, but together they make no sense.
I know. That's what happens when she goes to the beer store.
We could also do Doctrine and Covenants 89 if anybody wanted.
Ooh,
I leave that all up to you because I don't know what any of that means.
and I don't know the address of any of this stuff.
That's why I got my nasal tobacco here.
That's
It's
right.
for the word of wisdom.
Right. Hey, Aaron, the word of DNC 89 would be everything wrong about the way you host this show. Did you drink? It's the no alcohol passage.
I
Iconifer
think we'll have
says,
time for all that.
these are the 15 stone tablets fall out of Moses' hands and breaks. 10 commandments for all to obey. Thank you.
That's from
And then-
History of the
yeah.
World.
Yes.
And then Isaac Raskin says AI or AICTP. Oh, okay, that's what it means. And it came to pass.
And it came to pass. We're not smart enough for that.
Okay.
We're on 12. It came to passes, and none of you got that. That is okay.
Hey, did anyone send a link to Eric? I thought Eric was going to start joining these things.
He may
Is
have
he
not
not
got
on the
a link.
list?
Oh, I don't know. Did you add him to the list?
Let me check. I thought he was on the list.
I gave him the link last week manually. But if you didn't add him to your list,
You're right. I do not have Eric on my list.
we'll
Yeah.
work on. I'm waiting for him to message me back on WhatsApp, and
Yeah.
then I'll see if he wants to join.
Yeah, send me his email, and I'll you'll put it in the private chat or whatever, and I'll make sure that it's on the list this
I
time.
don't even have it, but I'll try. What
Okay.
your email, Addy BT Dub? Okay, that's taken care of. The 13 Articles of Faith from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Is that what we're doing?
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
so.
guessing so.
So this is my pearl of great price. It's my great grandfather's from 1902.
Wow.
That's pretty
And it
fascinating.
has the Articles of Faith in here.
Original 15 or the 13?
It's the 13.
If there was 15, which I'm just believing you because I
I
believe
think it was 14. I think it was 14, but there was an extra one in the Book of Covenants.
Okay. I know that the 13 was committed pretty early on, so it must have been a in Joseph Smith's lifetime change, I think.
It was, yeah, it was in the Book of Commandments, which was precessed the Doctrine and Covenants.
Now, do you
Okay,
want
let me just read
want-
the first
or-
couple here.
or do you want to sing them the way we learned to sing them in seminary?
Yeah, for whatever reason, my list is only 7. It starts with one should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance
Oh,
with
nice,
reason.
What
The
is
struggle for justice
Satanic.
is ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will. Oh no, I'm sorry. These are the satanic tenets.
Aaron, when you
I was
first
gonna
said
say.
I was like, I think this might be from the
This is making
community
way
of
too much
God.
sense.
I think this might be the RLDS. I think you found the wrong one. Article of Faith, number 1. We believe in God, the eternal Father, and in his Son, Jesus Christ, and in the Holy Ghost. I added some names.
Right. Got the 3.
That's right. It does not mention that they reject the Trinity, which is kind of interesting. You almost want it to, because they believe in those 3 separate personages,
Right.
3 different people. And as far as we know, the Holy Ghost is the last person to be born will be the Holy Ghost. But that's not confirmed. It also could be God's old roommate from his, eternity, just Brad. Just everyone meet the Holy Ghost. Brad. He just
Brad.
comes out, total fuck up.
And his roommate, who was living with him at the time.
He's got a helmet with 2 beers and straws on. What's up, guys? Barley is good for the belly.
Are we going to continue singing them or just reading?
I don't remember all of the tunes, but number 2 was we believe that men will be punished for their own sins and not for Adam's transgression.
Schoolhouse
Which is
Rock
bullshit.
could really help these guys, I think.
That's a real toe tapper there.
Yeah.
And yet those 2 are bored into my brain until I die. I'll be singing them after I get dementia. They'll still be there.
And we need to call bullshit on that, especially with the modern church when they won't let kids get baptized if they have gay parents and things like that.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, Mormons really like to brag about. So one of the tenets of being a Mormon is not just how much do you believe in this church, but how much do you hate every other church. And one of the things that they really pride themselves on is that we don't believe in the concept of original sin, that that Adam and Eve, that we have to pay for Adam and Eve's sin in any way. But philosophically, if you break down what they believe, it's not much different. Like God still, sin was only allowed into the world because we can only sin because of what Adam and Eve did. So if anything, it's weird because also Adam and Eve absolutely had to do what they did for the plan of salvation to then happen.
Yeah.
But that's still a sin.
It's almost
Adam
as if
fell.
this is all a spin-off of Christianity, and then they tried to spin it in a different direction retroactively,
Yeah.
but failed.
Yeah.
It's Adam failed that man might be.
That's right. And man, or that they might have joy.
Don't get us started on the Adam God thing. That's a whole different.
Then we got another comment from One Clown Shoe. It says, question for Aaron. How are the critters at home? The snakes and birds, all alive things at the old homestead. Everybody's doing peachy except the boxer who doesn't realize how close he is to me killing him.
Okay.
And then PhD Tony offers $10 Australian and says, if we donate enough, can you stop Jimmy from ever singing again?
Well, you can try. You can try. Let's start singing as Donald Trump. Okay. We believe that man will be punished with
Then Kit, you got to do. Then Kids You Me offers $6.66 and says, this can't be StreamYard. What website are you using to get this look?
It is true.
We're using StreamYard in combination with OBS and a little bit of magic from a friend.
And that magic cuts out 30 frames per second. So you're welcome.
Hold on. That magic failed at the start of the show because, and this is the technical term, and I messaged the person who made the magic, and they said the server was being pissy. So that I don't know exactly, but that seems to be a computer term. But it is fixed now.
Yay, because it was a little glitchy earlier. I was starting to wonder if I was going to be lost in space for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's gonna sing the third verse?
I'm trying to remember if I remember the song. We believe.
I'll just do it. We believe that through the atonement of Christ, all mankind may be saved by obedience to the laws and ordinance of the gospel.
I know you were trying to do Mormon the musical, but you came off a lot more Meatloaf.
Yeah. Who wants to attack number 4?
Well, we
want
to break down the. Are we trying?
Yes, please.
So we believe through the atonement of Christ, all mankind may be saved by obedience to the laws and ordinances of the gospel, and this is basically their central stake to the claim that they are in fact Christians. That to be qualified as
the true Christians,
right? This would be the verse that defines them as a Christian, and anybody who would say anything less than that wouldn't be a true Christian. Anyone else got anything?
No.
We're just gonna follow that up with number 4 here.
I've gone down to the last of my satanic beers. I got a special collection. Yesterday I was drinking Mephistopheles.
Nice.
And now I'm going to be drinking Samael.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and I believe that these are all 15% ABV.
Sweet.
So yeah.
So does it make you blind? Like Samael, the blind one.
At this percentage, yes, it should. All right, who continue, please.
Number 4. We believe that the first principles and ordinances of the gospel are first, faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Second,
Christian.
penance. Third, baptism by immersion for the remission of sins. Fourth,
No sprinkling.
laying on of hands for the gift of
For
the
the gift
Holy.
of the Holy Ghost. Yep.
Huh?
The gift of the Holy Ghost.
I like that they're ignoring some ordinances too. Like, and then fifth, you're gonna want to go ahead and get endowed, and then sixth, you're gonna want to get your extra endowment, if you know what I mean. But not everybody's getting all those extra endowments. We're not even gonna talk about them for the first 175 years.
Get your confirmation here.
Freedom to, wait a second. What is happening? Oh, a new phone. Oh, Eric can't. Okay, hang on. Let me try texting instead. He can't see my messages. Where are you, bro? Hang on, I'm a voice text. Where are you, bro? Comma, everyone's concerned about you. Period. It feels so empty without you here. Period. I'm not totally trying to pad the numbers at all because no one else showed up. Period. I just don't get why you don't like us anymore. Period.
It's all that Jehovah Witness stuff programmed into his head.
That's right. I did send that text for the record. That's exactly. Number 5, the 5th article of faith. One of the first. By the way, these are the first things that I remember having to memorize. I think.
Oh wow.
Me too.
Yeah. Because these are also what you're supposed to be basically agreeing to when you get baptized. So I think they try to get you to memorize these at 6 or 7 years
The
old.
terms and conditions you need to check off on.
Yeah. But as with Apple and all other companies, there's a lot more fine print. Then here's number 5. We believe that a man must be called of God by prophecy and by the laying on of hands by those who are in authority to preach the gospel and administer the ordinances thereof. What's most important here is find some men and put your hands on them. Put your hands all over them.
Preferably those who are in authority.
We're doing the laying on of hands over here. And then the
That's-
inserting of pegs over here.
That's one thing I learned on Blasphemer's Bible is that sometimes it was just laying on the hand. I thought that was pretty cool. Could lay on the hand.
And we believe in the same organization that existed in the primitive church, namely apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, evangelists, and so forth.
And so forth.
I don't know how you would put that to music. I looked at it, I thought about it, I couldn't do it.
We believe in the same. Oh, wait, no, I know it. We believe in the same organization that existed in the primitive church, namely apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, evangelists, and so forth. Something like that.
So forth.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Some
You really have
terms
to-
that Mormons never use. Mormons never use the term. Some of those, like evangelists.
Right.
Pastors,
Right. Yeah. There's no
pastors.
modern evangelists. And then teachers, they also don't really use pastors either. And now teachers
Yeah.
are the 14-year-olds. They don't teach shit. They're literally they're called to be a teacher, but you are not put in a position of teaching. Even growing up in the church, I was like, this is a weird thing to call us. Because we're
Same
not.
with elders. Same with elders.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true. The amount of experiences they've had to go through to earn that title.
Yeah. They don't have alcohol not because it's a Mormon thing, but because the elders aren't old enough to drink.
I'm gonna try to call Eric because there's some weird shit going on with all this.
I am
in the
an
meantime-
ordained elder. I have the Melchizedek.
Nice.
I'm only a
I
priest.
understand they have a shot for that now.
I do. You got Melchizedek?
I love that.
All right, Fitz, you want to read that next one?
Sure. We believe in the gift of tongues.
I bet
prophecy,
you do.
visions, healing, interpretation of tongues, and so forth.
This is also sort of this points to they have a different concept of gift of tongues, having that second part interpretation of tongues, having to do with not that you're speaking random, but in fact, it's supposed to be that you can speak languages you don't speak and you can understand languages you don't speak.
Not that they don't seem to use that so much anymore.
No,
Well,
only in obscure miracle stories that for sure happened, because my old mission companion's brother went on a mission, and his companion saw Thomas S. Monson speaking fluent Russian, but it was weird because he did it to a Portuguese crowd. But the Portuguese crowd understood him, not in Russian, in Korean.
Whoa, that's awesome. This is used in the missionary program a lot, though, of saying how missionaries learn languages at such ease is because of the power of the gift of tongues.
Yeah.
And so
Totally ignoring that there are several who don't, that they do administrative jobs or just send home. But they're like,
and
you know that by immersion you can learn a language in only 2 years? It's not like that's already knowledge. It's actually much less than 2 years. By immersion, you can learn a language in like 6 months.
And literally, it's just what's written in the manuals. It's not anything outside of that conversation. Is bleh.
I
Well,
like to borrow my testimonio.
Yeah, if you're 2 or 3 years old, then you can learn a language. Months.
No. The fastest way to learn a language is to go live in the culture and have to rely on it. Your brain will, because your other option is to die. So you can get, look, I'm not saying you're going to be a scholar, but you're going to be able to ask for all of your basic needs within only a couple of months and be able to understand some of the responses. And then within 6 months, you'll be able to have a basic conversation. By a year, you should be able to have a high school level conversation. And by 2 years, if you come back and can't fluently speak with the people who come from the same area as you, like, that's why you got an admin job, because that's why they put you in the office to keep track of all the reports of who's masturbating. By the way, the answer is all of them were masturbating. It's less of a who's masturbating and a who masturbated today list.
With the entire teacher's quorum.
They're not writing names, they're just adding tallies.
All right. So what is the next article of faith here?
Oh, this one's actually really good. Should I read it? Does someone else want it?
I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
We believe the Bible to be the Word of God, as far as it's translated correctly. We also believe the Book of Mormon to be the Word of God.
Turns out, even if it's not translated correctly, only one of those do they mention that it must be translated correctly.
King James.
Oh, we lost Davy. Davy, baby.
Oh, hopefully he'll be back.
Davy, please come back. I can't. It's too much pressure. And I'm so hungry. This is every time during this show, my body just goes like, hey, Jimmy, you're starving right now. There's something about, I've got some sort of Pavlovian conditioning. But anyway, that very first half of it, we believe the Bible to be the Word of God, as far as it is translated correctly, isn't just like we just put that in there for fun. It's very much they believe every version of the Bible until the Joseph Smith translation wasn't translated correctly. And they even think the Joseph Smith translation is basically incomplete because he didn't finish it before he died. So a lot of times they can just go with any apologetic that they don't like from the Bible. It's like, well, we don't even know what the original translation is supposed to be. You might be right on that. I don't know. The Bible's so corrupted. The Bible is the tool of the apostasy.
Oh, totally. And the irony of it is that the King James version is the one that they feel is the most correct version outside of those.
Yeah,
this guy that wrote a treatise on demonology because demons are real.
And may or may not have been bisexual. He never turned me down. That's all I'm saying.
I would have thought the demons were just naturally bisexual. I don't know why.
Demons, King James.
Okay.
All the demons are bisexual. That's queer theory 101.
I wonder if they chose King James because those are the ones that ended up in the Book of Mormon.
What?
So they're like, oh, it must be the most correct because it ended up in the Book of Mormon.
I think it'll literally just be that's the one Joseph liked on that day. That's
Only
the
one
one
available in his day.
Yeah, that's the one he was reading from. But God did that on purpose. God made sure that would be the case on purpose. It's not a matter of convenience, it's a matter of prophecy. It looks exactly the same. We believe, this is number 9. We believe that all that God has revealed, all that he does now reveal, and we believe that he will yet reveal many great and important things pertaining to the kingdom of God.
Woo!
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So we believe in living prophets.
I actually do remember this one. Yeah, it's we believe all that God has revealed, all that he does now reveal, and we believe that he will yet reveal many great and important things pertaining to the kingdom of God. Something like that.
Whoop.
Yeah. And now 12-minute drum solo.
All right, shall we move on to 10, or is there discussion on that 9th one?
I mean, that's just their whole modern prophets thing, that they believe that there are modern prophets getting revelations from all of that. The next one is when we start getting into their pretending to be the new Jews.
Did you see that debate between me and Kyle Adams where he was supposed to prove that Mormonism was true?
I didn't, but also I need you to know this with love and kindness, because this goes to everybody. I do not watch atheist YouTube. I cannot think of something that I would find more boring than watching atheist YouTube. That's like going home from the coffee shop and making coffee. How are you gonna do it?
Poor Kyle couldn't figure out that Mormonism wasn't just regular general Christianity. He refused to defend that the purpose, the title of the debate, is Mormonism true? And all he could do was praise Jesus. Like, okay, but what about that as Mormon? Well, it's all about Jesus. Yeah, but what about it as Mormon?
Right.
You're supposed to specifically show that Mormonism is, for example, truer than Catholicism or Lutheranism or the Seventh-day Adventists or whatever. You just pick a denomination is Mormonism compared to that. How does Mormonism differ from that? First discuss that, and then tell me how it's true. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
I'm going to call the dude out, since we're talking about him on the air, that when I invited him to be on the show just so we could make fun of him and shit, he told me to say that the Book of Mormon says to heed to no scorners. And the thing is, it never says that anywhere in this book. So he hasn't even read the Book of Mormon.
It's not even a real verse. I will say I probably wouldn't have joined if that was the goal. I am pretty opposed to it for the same reason that Matt quit in a debate the other day. I am pretty opposed to, once we know that we are beating up on a childish mind that is that there is more at play than just they are believers. I'm pretty uncomfortable proceeding, and it sounds like this is one of those situations.
Well,
my
it
issue
worked out that way, but I'm not perpetuating that.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who needed Arn to explain to him for over an hour what is exclusively Mormon as opposed to Christianity. He did not.
This is the flat Earth Mormon too, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is he's indoctrinating his children, which is the disturbing part of it.
As Jimmy pointed out, this show isn't about him.
Yeah.
He was invited to take part of this. We encouraged him to be on the show just so that he could read the Book of Mormon. Just so that he... Damn it, dog.
Was that a glass
party foul?
Cup fall?
Yes, that was.
Well,
yes, it was.
As Aaron said, it's not about him. It's about me. Jazz hands. well, what do we do? Do we keep going?
Continue while I clean up this dog's perpetual messes.
I like that you had the glass cleanup kit ready to go. This is not the first time, the second time. This is not the 40th time that this happened.
I think Arn should show everything in that room because he showed us a fence that he'd made so the dog can't get out. And the dog thought, okay, now you showed it on camera, so I'm going to tear it down now.
Oh, you want to see? You want to see?
Oh,
Yes, that's my
it's
living
a real
room.
fence.
That's a
That's
a
real
You
gate.
can't see it. You
Remember
can't
the
see it from
cedar?
here, but look, the dog's trying to chew his way out of it.
Is it cedar
We'll
or
get there.
pine?
I don't know. I don't know which one it is.
If you want to get him to stop, go get a little Vicks Vapo Rub and just very lightly brush it on anywhere he can reach. He won't chew it ever again.
I will do that.
I
Thank you.
hate eucalyptus. Unless you turn out to have the one dog that loves it and is like, now he won't stop.
Or a koala.
Yeah, because it's one thing that we had to keep one dog contained in here, and then we were going to let the other one roam about the house when he figured out how to get over the gate. But he's a disaster when he gets over the gate. So when he figured out how to get over the child gate that was keeping the little dog in here, then it's pandemonium in the rest of the house. We have cats. He doesn't know how to be in a house with cats.
Yeah.
So there's screaming and chasing and fighting. I'm like, no, your ass is stuck in this room now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that.
I will share this metaphor I've now shared twice about debating and arguing with certain people. Imagine we were talking about a physical fight, a fist fight, and this person's talking mad trash about how they can fuck you up, and it'd be so easy for them, and you don't know shit about fighting, and you get there, and it's a 10-year-old girl, and then you're like, well, I'm not gonna fight you. What is the benefit to me? And then she starts going, well, if you don't fight me, that's because you're scared. You know I can take you. You know I can beat your ass. You're just scared of me. And there are atheists among us who would then punch the 10-year-old girl. There are those who would go, fuck you, 10-year-old. I'm not scared of shit. When the right thing to do is to walk away because there's
Jimmy,
no good look to punching a 10-year-old girl.
I think you will understand what I'm about to say then. There are a number of Rabbi Friedman's fans who have criticized me for making my series challenging or correcting where he claims to have disproved Darwin.
Good. I bet he nailed it.
And so he doesn't even know what Darwin said. He's never read it. He has no idea what evolution is. He just talked for an hour randomly rambling about what the fuck are you doing, dog? Fuck.
It may be that he's learned
shit.
that this gets your attention. It's like, oh, if I knock something off, he looks right at me.
The dunce cap Photoshop was pretty hilarious, though.
Well, thank you, but the number of his fans, because he has more subscribers, that like 100,000 more subscribers than I do.
Right.
But when I listen to this doddering old fool, I'm like, how the hell does anybody listen to you?
Yeah. Okay. But Aaron, okay, let's say it's 100,000. You said more than you do, and you're at like what, 230, 240?
I'm at 300,000, so he's got like 400,000.
Now, how many of those do you think are legitimately sympathetic? What percentage do you reckon are listening going, this is a leader of men?
You talk about his following?
Yeah, just go to the comments. I don't even know this guy, but I bet the comment section, unless he's actively blocking people or has comments off, reveal that it's not as though that's 400,000 sycophants.
Okay, but I'm getting some of those
Yeah.
in my comment section. I'm getting his fans complaining that he can't defend himself in the video that I'm making rebutting his points. Well, the point is, he just gave a presentation where he spoke for an hour where he claimed in the title of the thing that he disproved Darwin. Were we able to, was the scientific community able to defend our point when he said?
Aaron, I'm not saying you shouldn't do a slideshow about the ways you could beat up the 10-year-old girl. I'm just saying don't actually punch the 10-year-old girl.
That's not what I'm saying. So when people criticize me for making this series because this guy cannot defend himself, and he He can make a retaliatory video if he wants. If he thinks that he can argue in that fashion, if he wants to challenge me to a debate, he's down for that. He can do that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he won't, because there is no rebuttal for this.
Yeah.
And what they wanted me to do, his fans wanted me to call him out for a public debate. I'm like, he's not going to debate me. And I would look like a bully if I challenged him.
Yeah, there is some change in considerations when you're talking about a public figure with influence. Now the 10-year-old girl's got a mech suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, it's not important that it's a 10-year-old girl. I did mention this in the last show. I want everyone here to know that I can beat up a 10-year-old boy also. Just there's not a 10-year-old boy on the planet I can't take. So by the way, it's just a 10-year-old. We'll just go with a 10-year-old. It's important that everyone knows that about me.
Okay.
I thought that was funny and no one laughed.
So this is a 77-year-old man who's talking bigger. He's talking a bigger fight than he has. But I still realize that if I were to call this guy out with a debate challenge at the end of this series, I would still come out looking like the bully. It's one thing to correct what this guy did wrong and leave it. But there's no point in going after him beyond that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I also have a very complicated relationship with like the old content I used to do. And I'm not putting most of it back up for this reason of just how many videos do you need to establish that Girl Defined aren't very smart? That's a YouTube channel. At a certain point, you're like, I've already done the work. So now we're just kind of hating on these two women because we hate them. And that's not healthy for us. So I get it.
Yeah, so the next series, I'm about to finish up with Rabbi Friedmind, and he goes dark in the last 7 minutes of his speech, and it was distinctly different than everything else that he said. Everything else he said was just factually false, but then he goes philosophically horrible, and so that's a whole different darkness that I'm going to have to address. And then as soon as I'm done with that, then I've got Mike Johnson's sermon.
Mm.
Where he describes that he talks for an hour about why are there mass shootings? Because we teach evolution in school.
Yeah.
And that's why all the mass shooters. I mean, you have to go all the way back to Columbine to get for these people to have an argument. But every mass shooter since Columbine, with like maybe one or two exceptions, all of them have been right-wing, religious, conservative, Christian creationists.
Yeah.
So that argument's moot. So, but anyway, that's where I'll be going with that. All right. So I've got another comment from PhD Tony, who offers $5 Australian and says, there are serious problems translating the Book of Mormon. It started as complete horseshit and has been translated into gibbering nonsense.
Why is Ember in chat but not here?
Fuck if I know.
Come on.
Ember's lazy.
Yeah, Ember, why are you not here?
Ember's just being lazy. And I just want to add, I hired this guy called Borg9 to do the sound effects for the show, and so far he's doing a stellar job.
Yeah, thank you. Jim, Peter is talking about my dog, who's trying to wreck shit as we speak. All right, so on the tenets or the statements of faith, have we done 10?
No, well, there's 13 total, but we've only done through 9.
Okay, so we're on 10.
And I do want to say to the person who is suggesting that I couldn't take an 11-year-old, I won't be taking questions today. Number 10. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and in the restoration of the 10 tribes, that Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be built upon the American continent, that Christ will reign personally upon the earth, and that the earth will be renewed and receive its paradisical glory. And yet, for some reason, we still support Palestinian genocide. Yay!
Well, that's why, right? Because we have to get Israel back, build the temple again and everything.
Right, but Mormon Zionism still focuses on it being in Utah. So it's go like, all right, we're doing it over here.
The fuck are you doing? What?
So just this week, there was a lady, LDS lady, here in Arizona.
You let him behave badly, Aaron. I don't know what to tell you. You reap what you sow, my friend. Get him a vibrating collar, like one that vibrates when you hit a remote. You'll be good.
Well, there's
Just
Ember.
hey, Ember. Just this week,
You're
there
gonna
was a
call me
lady.
out like that.
You're not even on camera, so I still have more call outs.
Listen,
There he is.
I have a phone.
Ew, and
It's
a
what I can
life,
do.
apparently. Fuck you. Get out of here.
I know, right?
Terrible.
And,
By the
and
way, I got a message. I got a message from Fitz. He says his internet connection went all garbled and then disappeared.
Everybody's
no.
breaking. My computer, literally 6 minutes before the Sunday show went live, my computer crashed for the first time, or just reset out of nowhere for the first time. It's never done it before. And then Shannon's internet is down, and I think most of us just don't like Sundays, and we're just all lying and pretending.
Peter was telling me that there's something going across Europe right now where there's a whole bunch of people who are losing their internet connection.
But I think
no,
that was just
not
to
the
you,
internet
right?
connection. YouTube is playing up, so people from Europe having trouble live streaming. But so far we're still good. All we need to do is teach Ember how to use horizontal video as opposed to vertical.
Turn the phone.
That's our only problem.
It doesn't work on the phone.
I'm going to piss him off with that every single time. Get a better phone.
He's using the original Motorola Razr.
Yes.
What?
He's using a Nokia from back when it was pronounced Nokia.
Yeah, look at this face. All boxers look like Ernest Borgnine.
I'm going to be honest.
True.
Work in the background. I can't even see anything yet. Not right at this moment.
Okay, so I'm going to read. Yes?
Well, when you read that, Jimmy, did it say the American continent?
Oh, let me go look. It said, "Will be built upon the American continent."
Oh, mine says this, and then
Well, it has to say this American continent, not that southern one. What are you doing?
Yeah, but mine's really unique. I don't know.
You're biting my shoulders. Ears. The fuck, dog?
I think
I wanted to
mind, even if they can't defend it, they do actually believe it's going to be Salt Lake City.
Yeah, they do, because they say that blood will run down the streets and it'll become the most evil city in the whole world. But it's interesting because Salt Lake City, yeah.
Okay.
There was a lady here in Arizona just this week that kidnapped her 16-year-old kid that she thinks is like a key to the bringing on the second coming. And she kidnapped him and went up to Idaho. And it was crazy because they're LDS and stuff, but it's all because of this stuff going on in Israel and everything. Everybody's up in tension, like they think the second coming's right around the corner.
Even though old Bednar hasn't gone to him and whatever haven't gone to Jerusalem. What is he supposed to do? David's supposed to go, and they're basically supposed to Matrix style take on some armies by themselves.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff, the Golden Gates and all that shit.
Just the prophecies that people, because they're one of the specific prophecies talks about someone named David, and so a lot of them are side eyeing Bednar.
David Bednar.
Yeah, the fucking dude. That dude has the driest delivery of any of them. He is
creepy
too.
All right. So what tenet were we up to?
11.
Okay.
You want it?
Chewing on my arm.
I love this one. This one's really great.
All right, read it, Gazalem.
We claim the privilege of worshiping Almighty God according to the dictates of our own conscience, and allow all men the same privilege. Yeah, right. Let them worship. Okay, go ahead.
Well, they all have the same privilege to worship the Mormon God.
No, that's not what it says. So he actually sorry, I interrupted too. Gazalem, go ahead and finish it, and then I'll make my joke about what you say.
Yeah, because this last line's important. Let them worship how, where, and what they may.
They're basically pretending to believe in the separation of church and state. That they think that, yeah, even though Joseph, when running for president, fully intended to turn the United States into a theocracy. So anyway, I like how we claim the privilege of worshiping Almighty God according to the dictates of our own conscience. I think it's funny that they added a K to dictates. Think about it.
It's that kind of dictate.
Think about it. There you go.
That is the kind of dictate.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Dictate.
Why do they send out missionaries if they believe everybody should believe whatever they want to believe? Why try to convert anybody?
French fries in the shapes of wieners are also dictates.
That's
Frankenfurters.
dictators.
That's right. That's right. That's what we serve exclusively down in Mormon, Idaho. Isn't
All
that
right,
weird
so
that
number
Idaho
12.
crap-
Potatoes, just like my internet.
We believe in being subject to kings, presidents, rulers, and magistrates, in obeying, honoring, and sustaining the law.
Except when Obama gets in, not when the middle name of the president is Hussein.
Tell that to the fundamentalists too, and the polygamists, and them.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh well, yeah, they're the law and order party.
I gotta think that they probably cut out this for their articles of faith, right?
I'm sure.
I gotta think they don't really adhere to verse 12 so much.
Yeah, and I
Bleeding the
think we.
beast.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, they call it bleeding the beast because that's how they take advantage of the government and stuff.
Now,
I
number
think he wants your job, Aaron.
The fuck?
Or he wants to fight.
Okay, you know why they call them boxers? He just punched me, and you're biting me. The fuck, man?
Is this a new
Dog
dog?
fighting's illegal in Texas, man.
You might
Yes,
have
this
to
is-
bite it.
Yes, we'll see. Ow!
You might have to bite it. Sometimes you have to bite a dog. Bite it on the ear. That's right.
So,
so bored.
in order for me to have a reticulated python, my wife had to have a boxer.
Well, it seems like so far from this show, you have a boxer.
Quite so, quite so. And I'd have to say that's a fair trade anyhow.
Yes.
Now, I will say there is something very prophetic about the 13th article of faith, and that is that it wouldn't be for another 100 and whatever number of years, almost 200 years, that people would play the you laugh, you lose challenge. And yet, this is clearly a you laugh, you lose challenge. Try to say all of number 13 with a straight face as a Mormon, because verse 13 or article of faith 13 is, we believe in being honest, true, chaste, benevolent, virtuous, and in doing good to all men. Indeed, we may say that we follow the admonition of Paul. We believe all things, no shit. We hope all things. We have endured many things and hope to endure all things. If there is anything virtuous, lovely, or of good report
Good
or
report.
praiseworthy, we seek after these things. And yet, they refuse to tickle the prostate, which is all of those.
Okay, did you say that there was originally 14?
Yeah, do you have the?
and
Yeah, I
Joseph
think I
Smith
found-
put his little
I
approval.
think
on
I found the
bottom of
14th one.
Signed it, Joseph.
Yeah. We believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums,
you're
the
being
Loch Ness
ridiculous
monster, and
now.
the theory of Atlantis.
You're being ridiculous. Joseph did not say any of that.
Ghostbusters.
All Joseph said was that there were Quakers living on the moons, asshole. You
And also
dick.
the earth is flat.
No, Joseph didn't say the earth was flat. He just said there were Quakers on the moon. And Brigham Young said that there were some on the sun also. So shut up.
Ooh.
It literally says we believe all things.
I don't even know what that means. We believe all things. We hope all things. We have endured
It's a
many
reference
things.
to 1 Corinthians, the passage they read at every wedding, isn't it?
I don't
You're
know.
not going to do this during debates, are you?
Probably.
He's going to win every debate that way.
I think you're going to need to take that by some behavior training there. Sure. I've been training dogs my whole life, and I can tell you on its current pace, this dog is going to get worse.
Jimmy the dog whisperer.
No, I've literally been training. So,
I
y'all
believe
know
it.
Matt, obviously. Matt had a neurotic dog that that basically was so insane and crazy that he couldn't handle him. And basically, I told him, don't get rid of him, just give him to me. And we shipped him to Denver at the time. And that dog, for the last 3 hours, has been sitting in the place I told him to stay, waiting for me to do shows over. That dog is trained as fuck now, despite the fact that he has a personality.
Okay, I put up literally a gate
Yeah.
to keep mine from destroying the rest of the house.
Yeah, but you also, when he stands up on his back legs and looks you in the eyes, you look back and kiss him on the nose. Who's teaching you to
And
We call that
through
positive
the bottom
reinforcement.
plank.
Yeah, so boxers will lick drywall until the hole appears. They somehow they understand they have like interesting object permanence, and they understand walls, and that they can create portals through the walls to where they want to go. Boxers are nuts.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to do some work with this doggy.
The number one thing that I've ever used, they usually come with a shot capability too. I've never had to use it except for dogs that have really strong prey drive, where it's like either hit the button or they're going to kill that rabbit kind of dog. But vibrating collars on remote, because it gives them, they hate them. You legitimately don't need to shot them for it. And the quickest way to get a dog to turn around its behavior, I have found, are vibrating collars.
Yeah, the shot collar, I can tell you from personal experience, does not work. We had a
dumb.
neurotic dog that I had a book on neurotic dogs that the first page of it says all dogs are neurotic, but we had one that every time you let it in the
on
door,
SSRIs, sir.
every time you let it in the house, it would go bark, 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 bark. Why? It's this high pitched, loud ass, ear splitting bark. It just every time it was allowed into the house, it would do this for like a whole minute. We're like, shut the fuck up! It's ear splitting. But it barked somewhat constantly, and so somebody at the pound or whatever, they gave me a battery operated shot collar, and I put it on the dog, and like in a day, the battery was dead.
Poor dog yelping.
It was a terrible it was a terrible thing. I'm not proud that I did it. I don't recommend it. I wouldn't do it again. But I put this thing on, and the idea was that every time he barks, he would get this little shock, and it would discourage him. But what it would do is he would go bark, bark.
Yeah. That dog was too stupid to get. I will say, I don't advocate for using shot collars because they're probably unnecessary. But people's understanding of them is also stupid. Because I'm not kidding. The collars that I'm saying, that usually the vibrating ones come with the shock, but they'll often also have a beep. So I'll use the beep as a warning and then vibrate as the but I'm not kidding. I pump those up to 100% and put them on the top of my head when I have a migraine. It's people have this weird concept of what the shock is. The shock isn't like it's causing a muscle to seize. And a dog's neck is more similar to our thigh. It's not like a dog's neck is not like our neck. You shouldn't pick a dog up by their neck, but you wouldn't kill one if you did, because their necks are built very much differently than ours. If anything, you could pick up a human by the thigh, and they'd be mostly fine. They'd feel emasculated, but you should not pick a dog up by its thigh. Don't do that.
This one detected a group of middle school kids in the back alley, like 20 of them, going through the back alley, lost his fucking mind that there are people making noise in the alley, and he had to go charge. Now, he's never bitten anybody. He's never attacked anybody, but he needs to express his authority. And so he went climbing over the back gate, and I put barricades all over the fucking thing, trying to stop his ass from going over the gate. But he went over anyway, despite all of the everything in the way. He went over and injured himself in the process. So right now he's on 3 legs and drugs.
Oh
I
no.
want to ask who's picking
Yeah.
dogs up by their neck. That's actually like I think one of the most common ways, especially young dogs. You pick them up by the scruff of their neck.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the way the mothers carry them around. But there's a weight displacement thing when they're
And you-
puppies.
Yeah, you don't want to do it
Yeah.
as much when they're older. But
Yeah. So I don't
controlling
know
a
what
dog
happened to
by
him
the
because I couldn't
neck,
see him.
especially from the top,
But
like holding them in place by there is still totally fine.
he went over the fence, and somewhere on his way over the fence, he injured himself, and it was walking around on hobbling, favoring one, lifting one leg off the ground. So I ended up having yesterday, just before my Blasphemers Bible show, I had to have him at the pet hospital, to get him checked out. They said that he has a torn tendon on his knee. That he doesn't
Oh,
need
no.
surgery. He doesn't have any broken bones. That he's was right at the verge of needing surgery. They said, but he's good. All you need to do is keep him home, keep him on drugs, and we've got him on drugs that will slow his ass down. So
Nice.
I'm just trying. The reason I call him Falcor is because he can fly.
Oh,
He will just sail over that 8-foot back fence every time there's something of interest. And I've put all kinds. I've built the back fence up to where it's 9.5 feet tall in some places, just wherever he can get a footing on it. He's gone under it. I've put in blocks. I put in concrete. I put in wood. Bricks, everything to try to stop him from going under it. But then he found a way through. So I wrapped that in baling wire.
the hard part with things like that is generally you're going to want to do some level of positive reinforcement training to actually train dogs to what they're supposed to be doing when they're in the backyard. But if you're just leaving a dog to the backyard and going, you have no jobs, responsibilities, or things to do back here, they're eventually going to work their way out.
No, I don't keep him in the backyard.
Yeah.
This is a bathroom break. I let my dogs into the backyard to go to the bathroom, and I expect them to come back in.
Yeah.
But
You need to reinforce
Falcor
that routine then.
will refuse to come back in.
Yeah.
And he refuses to come back in when he's figured out a way to get out. So
Yeah.
that if he wants to go lay down and be comfortable in the backyard, I'm like, okay, he refuses to come in when I bring the others in. Okay, fine. And then I leave him in the backyard because he wants to be. And then 20 minutes later, I get a phone call from somebody that's looking at his collar and says, hey, we got your dog.
Yeah.
Oh no.
In his brain, the negotiation he's doing is the maximum amount of dopamine I'm going to get is staying outside and then eventually breaking out and going for a run. And so you have to, again, usually it's positive reinforcement training that's going to break that, where you're going to, I mean, you probably have to do some things to break the bad behavior, but to really encourage the good behavior too.
We've started taking him to dog parks. That was helpful. We would take him to we would take him to these like specialty what is it, these like pubs where people would bring dogs that would have craft beer and everything, and so like, but it would be nice to bring him to an outdoor place like this. But then once he saw another dog again, he would lose his fucking mind, and he would bark at that other dog savagely until we get kicked out. So last week we took him to a dog park that's surrounded by a bunch of pubs like this. And now he's got 50, 60 dogs. What's he going to do? He was so confused. He wanted to attack everybody until he realized there was too many of them. And then he just seemed diffused.
I feel if we keep going, I'm just going to keep sharing my controversial takes because I don't take my dogs to dog parks. That is a good place to catch a disease. And honestly, like there only needs to be 5% of the people there who are shitty owners to ruin both your dog's day and potentially behavior long term. But it's more like 70% of owners are shitty. So it's sort of working against you. So I'm big not into. I like to try and find some sort of open space or community of dog owners who I trust and know that people are. I don't go to like, especially because that's where all the stories of the tragedies of like, oh, I went to this dog park and now because there was a breakout traced back to there of distemper or parvo or something, my dog gets to die.
Oh,
Hey, since we were talking about electricity, I collect quack medical devices. This one's from the 1800s, a Faraday battery, but this will give you a little jolt if anybody ever wants to come over and get shocked.
Dude, I used to play with my brothers, and one of my brothers and I was the best at it by far. But it was literally like a game where you would all hold handles, And there's a new
Yeah, that's what this is.
there's a
The
new
old
version
one. Yeah.
where whoever lets go last gets a little shock. This was a shock that escalated. It was who could hold on the longest, get the longest shock. And no one came close to my brother David and I, which we're the two who deal with pain and pain-based, well, pain-inclusive chronic illnesses. So that's probably part of why.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing Tomer here. I have to channel him from what I feel like we deviated.
We're deviating.
We finished.
I can channel him too.
Okay,
You have still some comments to read, Arn.
All right. Isaac Raskin says, will you shut up? I got to read the comments.
Yes, that's what's going to encourage him to stop. Your attention, as opposed to a correction. God, I barked, and he looked at me and spoke to me.
Bark back.
You're nailing it.
You're not wrong, Jimmy. You're not wrong.
I could not have planned what your dog just did better.
He does speak doggy.
Yeah.
Okay. Isaac Raskins. Ow! After hearing all that singing, I have a band name for you. Rational Extinction.
Ooh, nice. Rational
okay.
extinction.
Winter's Scoop. Will you quit? Winter's Scoop says, Book of Mormon has gone from horse shit to tapir shit. PhD Tony offers $2 Australian, says, assert dominance, Aaron.
That's right. Pin him to the ground. Though he might think you're playing, so you gotta kind of do it when you do it.
With exotic pets, that absolutely does not work.
Yeah, no. Go pin that boa. Come on. Come on over, kids. We're gonna play Pin the Python. Which means something different if invited by the clergy. Ooh, that was a rough joke, guys. I'm sorry.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm sorry.
Then poor Claire says, offers $4.99. It says, what a sweet doggy. Looks like the emoji. Can you introduce all your dogs? Can we see Jimmy's dog? I don't know, Jimmy, you start.
My dog is aware that he is not allowed upstairs. So next time I'm at the couch set, because I've done it before. Next time I'm at the couch set, I'll show you all my dog.
Okay. Well, y'all have seen Falcor, I'm sure. And you've now seen Borgnine. I can't pick up Bowie. Bowie is he's dealing with allergies.
Oh.
Bowie.
Borgnine. That's Borg. That's Borg number 9.
Bowie mo-wop, Bowie mo-wop, Bowie mo-wop.
Okay. And then your aged puppy. There we go. What is it? How old is your doggy?
Dexter.
Little emoji. He's like 13 or something.
Oh, I thought.
Okay.
How old's Jimmy?
Will you, ow, fuck.
It's all good. Let's go fuck myself.
All right. And then Mark Fernkoff says, wait, the Speaker of the House thinks that teaching evolution in schools causes school shootings? Yes. Yep. And you know the one in Maine that just happened? You know why that guy became a mass shooter? Not kidding. He liked a post that were from some right-wing conspiracy theorist who said that it was trans people who were mass shooters. They're blaming the trans people. The trans people are the mass shooters. So he became a mass shooter, I guess, to stop trans people from mass shooting.
I mean, they're trying to turn it into trans people's existence is causing mass shootings. That's not new. That's been their go-to for a little while now.
Yeah, and moral relativism for whatever reason.
It's because that kid that shot up the gay club in Colorado Springs claimed that he was non-binary.
As a method of it was a legal strategy.
I think so, yeah.
I think that's been pretty well demonstrated now.
Yeah. And then, like I said, if you want to argue, if you want to argue mass shooters believe in evolution, you would literally have to go all the fucking way back to Columbine.
Gazalem, did you see when that guy's dad who was all fucked up from years of meth, but I think wasn't actually on it actively in the interview. A lot of people said that. I'm pretty sure that's just how burned out his brain was. But it was like, no, we're a Mormon. And literally you can see the relief in his face, and he expresses relief when he finds out that the reason why his son was there at a gay club was to murder gay people, not because he was a gay person. And he literally how like he's just relieved to find out that he's not gay. He murdered people. By the way, one of the people shot who didn't die was actually a friend of mine, because I'm from that area. And he literally is sitting there, also an ex-Mormon, funny enough too, literally sitting there talking about fucking how relieved he is that his mass murderer son, at least he's not gay, because now he's still got a job.
Yeah, he says at least he's not gay, and he was all, yeah, I'm Mormon and stuff, but he was like a total anti-gay dude, and you could tell he raised his kid to just hate people like that and stuff.
He said, I'm Mormon. We don't do the gay thing.
We don't do the gay thing. Yeah.
I think Arn lost complete control now.
Well, you know.
I love a good boxing match.
Arn, what you need is an English bull terrier. They're so calm. Look.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah, they're super calm.
Oh,
they're not that calm.
No, they're not.
I need a Budweiser beer now after seeing that.
Then PhD Tony offers $10 Australian. I'm going to have to speak louder now. So strangely, we teach evolution in Australia, Canada, Japan, Sweden, and a few other places, and nearly no mass shootings. Almost like the hypothesis is just nonsense.
You think, huh?
I'm trying to do a show here.
We're getting one, that's for sure.
I'm sure they'll listen this time.
All right, it's clear I'm going to have to turn the garage into a studio.
Or train your dogs. That's another option.
All you need to do, Arn, is become the leader of the pack. That's it. Then you're done.
That's right.
Get down there and roll around with him.
That's right. Or at least. Well, this is fun, but I am starving. So.
Okay. All right. So Mark A. Smith offers $5 and says, get a titanium/tungsten gate. Let's see him chew through that. You don't understand. Every time I build a new barricade or a new thing across the fence or whatever, I'm like, ha, I fixed you now, didn't I? And then they find a new way around or through or under it.
Yep, because that's what they think their job is. Your dogs literally believe that's what they're supposed to do, is figure out how to get through it. That's what you got to rewire. You gotta get them task oriented on some non-destructive tasks.
I think what I need is one of those old Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom tranquilizer dart guns.
I'm gonna start giving dog advice, but in the voice of like Dr. Phil. You gotta give them tasks to do. I can't really do Dr. Phil. I'd have to work.
What? Not Caesar Milan?
Shave your head,
Jimmy?
Well, people would accuse me of racism.
Caesar Milan is a dog whisperer,
Okay.
So that would be.
I know, but he's got a Latin accent.
I don't know why, but I feel that if Bryce was here, this wouldn't happen. So I'm going to blame him.
If your dog would be. Yeah,
if Tomer was here, he would say we're going slightly off topic.
Yes.
Well, we would have stuck with Alma for one thing.
All right.
Just saying.
So
yeah, different show.
I will change the title of this to what was it? What do we call these?
Articles of Faith.
But
Articles of Faith.
Keep in mind, and I guess you got to make the beginning of the title something like "Ignore the first 20 minutes." We soft launched Alma 56. Soft launch.
Whoa.
Isn't
Yeah,
everyone
it's a Dachshund
happy?
Corgi mix.
Isn't everyone happy that the biggest one is drugged now? Because imagine what would happen.
Yeah,
Be some crazy
biggest
stuff.
one's not the problem.
So
Okay.
still starving.
Hey, order of amen. Get your toads and your peepstones.
Hell yeah.
Okay, was there something else, Jimmy, that you wanted to read besides these articles, and then there was something else you said we had plenty of time?
I want to read the ingredients on the side of whatever I'm about to eat. Are you trying to start a new chapter or something? I thought we were working on wrapping this shit up.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
I mean, you're welcome to stay. On your show, I give you permission to stay on your show.
Word of wisdom. Word of wisdom. Word of... Just kidding.
Word of wisdom is the schism.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and close it up then and do a regular show next week.
Next week.
All right. Yeah, I had Fitz on. I'm sure we would have been able to accomplish something, but
yeah,
today was just not the day to accomplish shit, obviously.
What if the entire internet goes down, people? The world.
We can read my Grimoire of Mormon if we want.
Oh wow.
No, you can.
Yeah,
the rest of us don't have it.
Y'all have fun.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't want to set the schedule here, but I acknowledge there's only 3 of us, and I was getting the impression that I could stuff my face soon.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll allow you to do that, Jimmy. Thank you very much for being on.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Hasta la pasta y bias nachos.
hell yeah. I'm